let me just start off with a couple of questions. Can we talk about the importance of celebrating local stories? And I think let me start with Roy. I mean, do you have any, what is the importance of celebrating local stories according to you, Roy?
So I think like specifically in India, so when we're saying celebrating local stories, I think we have to see it in context of celebration of design places, because in India, our everyday culture, our stories are celebrated in so many different ways, right? Whether it's food, whether it's the kind of the festivals and all of the things which are sort of happening around it. But these, especially when it comes to built places and sort of environments, that's where there is a disconnect with the local context and a disconnect with the place. So you suddenly see, let's say, I mean, a park, for example, in Mumbai, it's designed beautifully, but it's designed in a way that it's obviously supposed to resemble a European park, but has no context with Mumbai and the kind of places that we are in, for example. So the importance of celebrating our stories and the importance of celebrating a local context really is about making, in a basic sense, it's about making it usable, and it also sort of starts instilling a sense of pride in our everyday environment. So and
True.
there is a I feel there is a slightly especially I think predominantly because of Instagram and obviously Pinterest as well, there is this aesthetic in a visual sense which slowly and slowly starts getting borrowed by seeing what people are doing everywhere else across the world and then sort of trying and replicating it. But the first step of any design process is finally empathy. So if you're not really sort of empathizing and understanding the local context and not building around it, I feel that's a huge opportunity loss. So an example, for
Wonderful.
instance, is the Jal Tapi installation in Surat. I'm not sure if Anupam is online as well, but it was Anupam who had sort of initiated it from VR Surat, and it was a wonderful idea to celebrate a boat race which happens just right behind. And this is a boat race which has been happening for like years and years and years, and it is known to the local community, but no one outside Surat knows about it so much. And even though it's a beautiful festival, so the minute you're celebrating that festival or putting up an art installation in a mall which is in that neighborhood, it starts creating a new kind of conversation. And it obviously creates a conversation with a deeper connect with the local community. So the opportunity which is sort of is getting lost if you don't celebrate your stories is you're not able to connect with the community for whom you're building things clearly.
Correct. Correct. With that, I also wanted to ask Roshni the same question, and I think Roshni has gone backstage. So, Roshni, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you feel is the importance of celebrating local stories?
So the thing is, I think locus means storytelling is the most memorable way to sort of build recollection, right? Like any brand, anything in the world, if you remember it via stories. And so, and especially India, it's like there are stories in every community, every culture, every corner. In fact, there will be, local stories about even a small mohalla in your neighborhood, right? Little bit, यहाँ पे ना ये हुआ था और ये there was this one lady who should live here and this Devi. And all of that kind of stuff is what creates urban culture. And
Right.
sometimes I feel India is overwhelmed with it, and which is why people find it difficult to choose stories. But I think the importance of story, like Sara was saying, right? It's so important to talk about it because A, if you don't, it gets lost. B is if you don't, the sort of the stuff that you come hearing about, and then you don't
Mm-hmm.
see that story in real life. Like suppose you come to Bombay, knowing saying okay, there's a jazz. Bombay is the house of jazz. It was the sort of pinnacle of jazz in India. And then you come to Bombay and you don't really see jazz anywhere, and there is no story about it when you come there, and that sort of creates a lot of disappointment. So I think it's about firstly having that. Of course, there are a lot of books. Like I said, India is great with storytelling in the sense that people have romanticized and
Hmm.
written about it, but I don't think on ground that story is coming alive. And like I think maybe one example is what Saurav is saying, have these sort of things
Yeah.
in public spaces. But I think there's so much more that can be done. To kind of have that continuation, so that when you arrive here, you kind of that story continues and you become part of that story. And I think a lot of, sorry to I don't want to compare, but a lot of European countries do that really well. That story continues.
That's
When
very true.
you
That
come
is
to
so
France,
true.
you see a plaque and you
When you
see.
go to any spot in Europe or some of these countries, even the most meager story is told in such an interesting way and presented so well, you just feel like it's worth that trip. Whereas here you'll go to some historical place, it's ancient and it'll be like a dump. And there'll be
Yeah,
some archaeological survey of India wala
one paragraph, that's it.
board. You really don't understand what the hell it's just amazing the difference. So let
Yeah.
me continue the same vein, Roshni, and ask you for a further question that how do we select the stories that should be told about that space? Like, because there are so many stories that you could pick from. So how do you select the most powerful? I mean, what is your method?
So I think, see, that's a very tricky one, but it's also, I think it's the story. I don't think it's about which stories you select. It's more about first figuring out how you want to tell the stories, and then I guess it's also like, which stories stick in the mind. So suppose I know that this story is running a lot. Like people say you have an Incredible India campaign and you've heard about boat racing or you've heard about the kite flying or whatever, and people have come for that. Make sure at least they get that bare minimum, right? Like make sure there is some sort of plaque,
Mhm.
some sort of installation, maybe some sort of a tour that makes you see all the stuff that you're saying. So it's about, I think, which story to choose. I think the story chooses itself. It's people choose the story. That's the fun part about stories, that people kind of hook on to things, and that's the beauty of it. Like there'll be some bizarre stuff that people start to hook on, and then I think the role of designers and branding people like us is to take that and make it into an experience and make it, highlight it, and embellish it and make it beautiful to present it back to the people.
Super. Let me also ask Roy the same question. Roy, when you are creating a space, how do you pick the stories that you want to tell in that space?
So I think it really depends upon the context of what that place is, right? So, for instance, if it was, I think there's a huge comment which just got tagged
Yeah.
in. So I think it really depends upon the context, right? And the thing is that I mean, we all know, right? India is a land of stories. So there is I mean, every neighborhood, every corner is a story. Our festivals are celebration of stories. Our everyday culture is stories. So the way I would sort of look at it is in the context of the place and where it's being used, right? So obviously, if it's a heritage space, the kind of stories it needs to talk about is to celebrate the history. But if you're opening, let's say, a restaurant, for example, in a part of town, maybe you want to celebrate all the quirky stories which are there. So there are several different ways in which you can pick and choose stories, and I think we are in a period of time where this is a very tricky kind of a question, right? What stories are edited and what stories are propagated as well. And I think therefore it is I think everyone's responsibility to see that all stories are being presented, all stories sort of come out through, and
But that could end up
and
being
I
very
mean I
confusing, I think.
no, not really. I mean, in the sense that, I mean, if you take, say, I mean, like the example that we were discussing, right? For example, in European countries, there is a defined and a very curated sense of history and heritage, etc., which is put on display. India, in that sense, thrives on chaos. I mean, uh,
Hmm.
there is. I mean, I live in Goa and you live in Bombay, right? So we really know what chaos means and how we sort of navigate our way through. But that's really what makes us. We are not ever going to sort of be a deferred sort of follow a different model. For example, our model needs to be uniquely Indian model, and it needs to be sort of us. So it might be chaotic, it might be a lot of times over the top, but it is finally us.
Right.
I also think, Roy, it's also about balance. And Fidos, I think that's what he was saying, because in India, because there's so many opposing views, right? Like, if, for example, in Germany, in Berlin, if you go, there's a whole walk about the Holocaust. There's like so much about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the Germans are very embarrassed about it, but there is a conversation, that all kinds of
Right.
conversation are existing about it, which is what I think what you're saying, right? Sort of, even in
Yeah.
India, there's so multicultural. You cannot look at one story in its one angle. You have to make, if you take a top rather than story, I would say take a topic. Say it's a heritage structure, or it's the farming or the food of India, whatever. and then you look at it from different angles, and then it's about stories rather than a story, right? So
that's a very interesting way of thinking about it.